Welcome to my YouTube channel. Every coin has a history where history meets hidden fortune. Here I share real videos of rare and old coins, including pieces worth millions that can truly change a collector's life. If you love coin hunting, rare finds, and valuable treasures, this channel is your guide to the world of priceless coins. The 1972 Washington half dollar is an interesting and often overlooked coin among collectors, especially when found in very fine condition, which means the coin has seen circulation but still retains clear details and moderate wear on the high points. Minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark, this coin represents a period in U.S. coinage history when silver had already been removed from most circulating coins, making it composed primarily of copper and nickel rather than precious metal. Yet it still holds collectible value due to its age, condition, and historical significance, with the obverse featuring the familiar portrait of George Washington facing left, designed by John Flanagan, where in very fine condition you can still clearly see Washington's hairline and tied ribbon at the back, though some flattening will be noticeable, while the reverse displays the heraldic eagle with a shield, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. And although wear will be present on the eagle's breast feathers and wing tips, the overall design remains bold and identifiable. Collectors often seek coins like this not necessarily for high monetary value but for completing sets or appreciating the craftsmanship and history behind everyday currency. And while a 1972 half dollar in very fine condition may not be rare, it can still fetch a modest premium above face value depending on market demand, eye appeal, and whether the coin has been well preserved without significant scratches, corrosion, or discoloration, making it a great entry point for beginner numismatists who want to explore coin collecting without large investment, as well as a nostalgic piece for those interested in the evolution of American currency during the post-silver era. And if you're examining one of these coins yourself, take time to look closely at the details, the rim integrity, and the overall luster that may still remain in protected areas, because even small differences in condition can impact desirability among collectors, ultimately reminding us that even common coins carry stories of circulation, economy, and history in the palm of your hand. As we look more closely at the 1972 Washington half dollar in very fine condition, the story deepens beyond its basic identification and begins to reveal the subtle nuances that make coin collecting such a rewarding pursuit, because even within a single grade like very fine, there are variations in eye appeal, strike quality, and preservation that can significantly influence how collectors perceive and value the coin. For instance, a well-struck example from the Denver Mint may still show stronger definition in Washington's hair above the ear and along the ribbon, while a weaker strike might appear softer in those same areas even if the wear level is similar. And this distinction becomes important when enthusiasts compare coins side by side, searching for pieces that stand out despite having circulated for years. Additionally, the surfaces of a very fine 1972 half dollar often tell a quiet story of its journey through commerce, with light scratches, contact marks, or slight dulling of the original mint luster, all of which are expected but still evaluated carefully, since excessive damage or cleaning can reduce desirability, whereas a naturally worn coin with even coloration and smooth surfaces tends to be more appealing. It's also worth considering that during the early 1970s, half dollars were not as widely used in everyday transactions as smaller denominations, which means many coins from this era saw limited circulation before being set aside, sometimes resulting in better preserved examples surviving today, yet truly attractive very fine specimens still require a careful eye to identify. Beyond condition, collectors often think about how this coin fits into a broader set, such as a complete run of Washington half dollars by date and mint mark, where the 1972 serves as a common but essential piece that helps tell the full chronological story of the series. And while it may not command high prices like rarer key dates, its accessibility makes it an important stepping stone for beginners learning grading standards, handling techniques, and market awareness. Furthermore, examining the edge of the coin reveals the distinctive reeded pattern, which, although worn down slightly in very fine condition, still provides texture and authenticity, reinforcing the coin's identity and helping to prevent counterfeiting, a feature that has been part of U.S. coin design for centuries. Ultimately, the 1972 Washington half-dollar in very fine condition embodies a balance between history, affordability, and collectability, offering both new and experienced numismatists a tangible connection to America's past while encouraging a deeper appreciation for the small details that transform an ordinary piece of currency into a meaningful collectible. Another important aspect to consider when discussing the 1972 Washington half-dollar in very fine condition is how market perception and collector behavior influence its value over time. Because unlike rare key-date coins that are driven primarily by scarcity, coins like this are shaped more by demand, presentation, and the growing interest in modern-era numismatics, and this creates an interesting dynamic where even a widely minted coin can gain attention if it exhibits above-average eye appeal, attractive toning, or a particularly clean surface for its grade, especially as more collectors begin to focus on building high-quality sets of otherwise common issues. In very fine condition, the coin typically shows moderate wear across the highest design elements, including Washington's cheek and jawline as well as the eagle's chest and wing feathers. Yet the legends, date, and mint mark remain strong and readable, which is a key factor in maintaining its desirability, and collectors often use magnification to assess these details closely, looking for signs of originality such as undisturbed surfaces and consistent coloration that has developed naturally over decades rather than through artificial cleaning or alteration. It is also interesting to note that environmental factors play a significant role in how a coin ages. So two 1972 half-dollars stored under different conditions can look dramatically different despite being the same grade, with one perhaps showing subtle gray or golden toning while another might appear dull or spotted due to exposure to moisture or improper storage, and these differences can affect both aesthetic appeal and market interest. Beyond physical characteristics, there is also a sentimental and educational value attached to coins like this, as they provide a direct, tactile link to a specific era in American history, allowing collectors to reflect on how currency has evolved not only in composition but also in usage patterns, especially as denominations like the half-dollar gradually faded from everyday circulation. For those building a collection, acquiring a 1972 in very fine condition can serve as a practical lesson in grading consistency, encouraging the collector to compare multiple examples, refine their observational skills, and develop a personal standard for what constitutes an attractive coin within a given grade. And over time, this process builds both knowledge and confidence, turning what might begin as a simple purchase into a deeper engagement with the hobby, where each coin, no matter how common, contributes to a broader understanding of history, craftsmanship, and the subtle art of preservation. Finally, when considering the long-term appeal of the 1972 Washington half-dollar in very fine condition, it becomes clear that its true significance lies not in rarity or high monetary worth, but in its role as a bridge between everyday history and the world of collecting, because coins like this invite people to slow down and observe details that might otherwise go unnoticed. From the subtle wear patterns that reveal how the coin was handled over the years to the enduring clarity of its design elements that have survived decades of use, and this balance between wear and preservation is exactly what defines the very fine grade, where the coin still tells its story clearly while showing honest signs of circulation. Many collectors find satisfaction in assembling complete date and mint sets of Washington half-dollars, and the 1972 becomes an essential piece in that journey, offering an accessible opportunity to study how coins from the same series can vary in strike, tone, and overall eye appeal, even when they share identical specifications, and this encourages a deeper appreciation for the minting process and the subtle imperfections that make each coin unique. Moreover, the affordability of coins in this grade allows collectors to focus less on financial pressure and more on enjoyment, learning, and the gradual refinement of their collecting goals, whether that means upgrading to higher grade examples over time or simply preserving a well-balanced set that reflects consistent quality. It is also worth noting that as interest in tangible assets and historical artifacts continues to grow, Even common coins like the 1972 half-dollar may experience renewed attention, particularly among new generations of collectors who value authenticity and connection to the past, and in that sense, every coin becomes more than just metal, it becomes a small but meaningful artifact of its time. Ultimately, the 1972 Washington half-dollar in very fine condition stands as a reminder that collecting is not always about chasing the rarest or most expensive items, but about recognizing the value in ordinary objects that carry extraordinary stories, encouraging patience, curiosity, and a lasting respect for the craftsmanship and history embedded in something as simple as a single coin.